Good day. This is Jim. Sawlogs Plastic Hubs is my shop name. My channel name is Jim Deadman. Welcome to my machining videos that I'm putting out on YouTube for your pleasure, entertainment, and some education. Today's video will be whatever that the title of the video is that I'm working on. It's just a new kind of introduction that I'm going to put out there. A little bit about myself that maybe hasn't been put out in my other videos, just for general information for you guys. I'm a retired employee who worked in the machining area of Eaton Corporation for 40 years. So a lot of my time there was spent, about half of it was spent with CNC lathes, which I'm intimately familiar with. My early career, for about 3 years, I apprenticed in a local machine shop, and that's where I learned some of the basic skills that I use today. So my shop is something that I just work on projects, things I want to do here at home. So I hope you enjoy these videos. There's a lot of them I already have shot. I'll keep shooting more for you. There's things that you can do in your own home shop with minimal expertise, I'm going to say sometimes. I do take on some difficult little projects from time to time that's involved. Some of the things I do, I will be honest, it's probably more trouble than worth, but like I'm fond of saying, I'm retired and got more time than I have money sometimes. And that was part of the goal of setting this shop up, is to keep myself busy in my retirement. Because after spending so many years in a heavy overtime environment that I work for Eaton, this is a relaxation. I can come out and work 3 or 4 hours and walk away. So I try not to take on very many long, big projects for other people. I will if I'm pinched. If somebody asks me to help them out, I'll be glad to. So on today to today's project, whatever it may be. And I hope you enjoy the video and whatever I'm producing today. And like I say, enjoy. And if you like what you see, please comment, rate, and subscribe. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. And enjoy. Alright, I'm gonna kind of do a video in a video, I think. This is probably going to be a separate video. I'm not going to show this in the tool making, but I think it's worth a video. Now, let me kind of bring the camera in a little bit. And here's what we got going on. I'm working on a project right now, making me some tool blocks. Because as I say, I got more time than I have money. So today, what I want to do is, there's always a lot of questions in details and whatever about cutting dovetails. And Mr. Pete, he really does a good job on most everything. But I see a lot of people struggling. So I'm going to side draft off of what I'm doing, so to speak, and show you about the dovetail. Now, I use, like I said, I use a Randy Richardson shop dovetail cutter. That's what this is. This is a real good product, and I would not hesitate to recommend anyone buying one. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to center the dovetail cutter up in the dovetail. And the reason why is then I'm going to have a 0 point to work from. So, you know, to me the easiest way to do anything like this is, let me reach over here a minute and hit the one shot a couple of times and get myself started. All right, now I'm just going to, again, I'm not real aggressive on my speeds and feeds. This is, I just kind of, to me, I'm in a home shop and I'm not trying to push this stuff. Plus, I'm the one paying for the cutters. So here we go. My mill's a bit noisy, the belt drive and stuff, so apologize for that. So what we're going to do, okay, we're going to call, we touched it, you see the paper turn. And let me just roll the camera around here a second. I'm just going to turn the DRO around. There we go. And we're going to hit Y0. Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you what, let me just cut the camera the video off. I went ahead and done like I did just a second ago, took a piece of paper and found the other side. And we'll just move the camera around this time. And now on mine, I have a DRO Pro on my unit. Let me get up here. Let me back off some of this. Okay. And we're going to hit the half and the Y-axis. So it says I can move about 47 thousandths to be in the center. So let's see. Let's just, now what I'm going to do, let me turn back around here where you can see, just in case we touch, which you shouldn't. Let me just, so anytime you're working in a tight spot, I'd advise you to start your cutter up. You don't want to be in the cutter. And I'm going to roll you back up here. Now, I'm not a stickler to try to get 0, 0 there. I mean, 2/10 is not going to matter. Now, the reason for that is now I have a 0 point to work from on each side. We're going to cut off each side, but 0 and everything out. Now I have a reference to work from. So I'm working constantly off of 0, either the plus or the minus side. So as I need to make any adjustments for my dovetail fits, I will be able to adjust my dovetail fits that way. So that's kind of what we're going for on that. Now the other thing you want to do is on a tool holder like this one. Now there's 2 or 3 different ways to do it. To be honest, I prefer with the knee mill like I have. Now if you've got a, and I've had the other kind of mill by the way, if you have the not the wrong food type, well even that, if you have a mill that's not a knee mill, dovetail column mill or whatnot, you'll want to do that. You'll do this with your column. But with a knee mill, and I only keep a 2-axis DRO. So right now, I'm going to touch this with a piece of paper. This is just, okay, good. Now that's, okay, that's 3/1000ths off the bottom. Let me turn the camera off and let's check some stuff. Now, I'm going to bring you down to the, okay, this is the block. Let me move over a bit. There we go. Alright, now, I always, when I do this, is use a block. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm marking the center depth, which I've already cut here in this block, and around 420 thousandths. I actually got 421 on this one. So again, now I'm just going to run right over here and try to mark this step, and I'm getting about 415. So that tells me there's about a 5/1000ths or so gap. Alright, now I've already zeroed everything out and I got about 3/1000ths. Now again, I don't use a DRO on my Z-axis on my knee. So we old school it. Alright, now we want to just back it off. So we'll just back it off about 5/6000ths. That'll give us a little relief underneath there. That's it there. Now that's done. So that's the way I'm setting up to do them. But honestly, a lot of times, and there's 2 ways to do this, and I'll be honest with you. Let me release this, and I try to set my pins. Personally, I just about prefer not to move it. Personally, I prefer to do it this way, is to just set the dovetail in there and take my mics and mic it just like this. And I've got two different kinds. I've got a starrett and I got these Craftsman mics. Okay, and I'm getting basically 270, 80, 1 inch, about 81 thousandths is what I'm getting here. And just to show you the difference in this, I'm going to do it the other way and pull this out. Let's see, we should be getting close to the same read. Right there, about 81. So, the next thing I'm going to do before we start is run right over here my dicom measurement and write the size down. 1 inch, 0, 81. Now that's the size with the pins that I'm looking for. Now we're going to come back to this and reference this an awful lot in this video. So, you know, I'm going to set this up over here in the bench. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to reference that number a lot. Okay. So now, move my stool back. So the next, let me move my video up. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do here, let me kind of pull back a little bit, you don't need all that detail, is we're basically going to start up, touch off, make sure everything's good and tight. This is set up yesterday when I was cutting the slots, and we're going to start the process. Now, I'm just going to kind of start this and then I'll cut the camera off and bring you back along the way. The DRO is set on 0. Okay, I have touched and come out. Let me move the camera up, show you. Alright, now I'm set at minus 54 thousandths. So now I kind of have an idea of where I'm at. And 50 thousandths will work good. So what we're going to do is we'll go on minus 100, even. And then we'll make our first cut. And then once we cut through both of the blocks, let me come back down, then we'll stop the other side, go positive 100 and come back. That way we're taking the same amount off of each side, and that's why we zeroed the cutter up. So I'm going to start him up. And let the dovetail cutter start here for you. And I will say this, the first few cuts you make, you can take 50,000. In my experience, it's usually about 100 a side or somewhere we start getting close. So what I'm going to do is you can kind of also tell by the dovetail. My reeds drive in my mill. The valve either knows the strings release. You can see how that dovetail started. I'll bring you back once we get this dovetail mill down both sides. I had to do a little repair. Seems like, and I've never noticed it, never paid any attention, and somebody, the top cover up there is really hot, or the crowbar stand. I do believe the bearings may be bad up at the top too, but they're still making some noise. Not near as much. There's a top plate up there, and that top plate had 3 bolts in it. Supposed to be 3 cap head screws, or the metric version, obviously, because Laguns are made in Spain. Well, all the bolts gone. So that's where all the noise comes from. I have some quarter 20 bolts, and I just run in there real quick and drilled and tapped, I just tapped them out to standard threads and went that way, fired it down. And it's still got some noise. Part of that's the reed drive itself. But it sure quieted it down a whole lot. Now, I know it wasn't that noisy when I went and checked the mill out, but evidently that, and there's probably some bearings in it that's probably weak too. But that's much better than what it was. Now I know we could run these cutters harder, but I'm going to tell you, I like being a little conservative, and I've cut a lot of hard metal. So now you'll see that's my first 2 passes there, going across these. So everything we're going to do is going to be based off of this. I'm going to take a couple of passes before we check, and I probably won't go 50 this next pass. I'll probably go 25 each side, just to get a reference. The deeper you go with the dovetail, the more involved you get to the insert. So right now, you could probably take it. This is aluminum, we could take heavier passes. This is steel, and again, we're not in a production environment. So I'm going to go ahead and rough this on down, and I'll bring you kind of back. All right, let me show you this real quick. You see the 151 thousandths 4/10 in my y-axis. Basically what I'm using the DRO for is to keep track of how much I take off of each side. So what that's telling me, by just glancing at it like we are right now, that I move 151 thousandths off center each way. So what I'll do is I'll set this side over 25, go down it, run the other side down 25. And what that will do is get me close, then we'll recheck. Now, most people who's probably watching my videos watch Mr. Pete, and he does not like compressed air, and I've heard a lot of it in the shop over the years about compressed air. But when you're doing something like this, you can't wipe it clean, because you want accurate measurements. And that's the exact reason. You see I've got some brake cleaner here, and the reason for them accurate measurements is simple. We as I repeat this as we're doing this, you have one shot. I mean, if you're down to this point, depending on however you're doing this, and I've spoiled enough work myself on dovetails to tell you, it's easy to do. Now we'll probably mic it this time. I've been using the calipers to get close because it's just simpler. So get right in here now and tighten it up. And we'll pull this out and get us a measurement. And that's the reason you want to be clean. Now the deeper I go, the conservativer I get. I need about 1 inch 80 thousandths or 81. So right now I'm getting right around 60 and a half. So I'm within about 20 thousandths. which is pretty good. And this is where you've got to be careful. And this is also why I do what I do with the DRO. I mean, you really need to be able to do this. Alright, now let me cut the camera off, reposition it, and I'll show you what we're going to do. If you notice, the DRO reading now is plus 190. And the plus or minus is not that important. The truth of it is, that's just my reference. Whatever I go on one side, whatever is either positive or negative, I'm replicating on the other side. This allows me to replicate it. So I'm looking at approximately 20 thousandths, or about 10 thousandths a side. So we're going to basically move 10 thousandths. And with my mill, sometimes when you tighten the table down, it moves a little bit, so you usually work with it. So now I'm going to mill this side, and then I'll bring you back when I move it to show you the other number and the reason why at the very beginning I set this thing up so careful. So I'll bring you back in just a minute. Now this is to go down the other side, and you see now why I done what I did. I have an easy reference, it's easy to keep up with, cuts down on errors. Now what I did was mic this one, and according to my measurements, I'm 2 or 3 thousandths smaller than the sample. But there's some tolerance in here, so what I do, I have an extra block. This is the one that come on my Grizzly and I wasn't happy with. So I slid it into both of them. So now I have the dovetails. Now what I'm going to do is I'm pretty confident it's going to work on the lathe. So we're going to go over here to the lathe in just a second, take them out and check it. So there's the block and the dovetail, and you see how well it locks. So really good lock, good solid lock. That's the front one. And I have no confidence, every confidence in the world, the back one's going to slide down there and do the same. I ain't got this one is deep cleaned. So there you go. Now, and if you look how good a detail we can see at the camera here. See, I actually have my little steps in them and everything. This isn't hard if you take your time, and you'll notice I took my time with this, so that's the important part. So I hope that you learned something about these dovetails. Let me turn the camera around, point it up, turn the face around so you can see me. I can see you. There we go. I hope you've enjoyed this video on the dovetail. And I decided while I was cutting these, I didn't want to include it in my other video, but I feel like there's some people out there who need a little more instruction. Not that I'm an expert, but I've cut a lot of dovetails in my shop for different, and this will work no matter where you're going. Excuse me, I need to look at the camera. This will work for you no matter which way you set it up. I set these up, and if you go watch the other video, you'll understand why. I know that I was going to make a couple, and I made everything around where I could use the power feed. Some thoughts. You can and get more aggressive. I choose not to be, because obviously I don't feel like we need to push all this stuff really that hard in my shop. And you know, again, I'm paying for the tooling and I'm making this for myself. So it's not that I'm trying to shave 15 minutes off the machining or something. So unlike you know, somebody who's doing this for a living who really needs to push it. And this is my personal project. This is some scrap, like I said. And if you watch this video, you should watch the other one where I'm making the tool holder and are making these blocks, and you'll know a little more about it. I've already put one out on this. So I hope you enjoy my dovetail video, and we'll get right back to it. Thank you for watching the video today. I hope you enjoyed what we did here in the shop. I'm going to use a disclaimer. This is my method in my shop, what I deem to be the best method. But now, please comment, rate, and subscribe. And the comments who will give me, will be answered, and sometimes give me ideas how to be better at what we're doing and making videos. So, again, I'm going to thank you for subscribing, or thank you for viewing. If you're not a subscriber, please do, and join the people who are giving me some subscriptions to try to get to these magic numbers to grow the channel. I'm going to do videos wherever I get monetized or not, because I do the videos because I love them. But I would like to get a little chance at getting a little bit of revenue off the ads that you're forced to watch when you come to these channels on YouTube. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Again, tell your friends, anybody that's interested, spread the word. And we'll see you in the next video that we're making something new and having fun in the shop. So enjoy.